making it a lot better. And so for my panel, y'all will be primarily on the screen. And for everybody else, if you could chime in the chat, if you're back in the back office, or if you want to jump in on here, the goal today is to keep this at approximately 30 minutes, not too long, because we got some other business to attend to, ladies and gentlemen. My camera is looking pixelated. How I'm looking, everybody? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna get started. For those that don't know, my name is Jason Thomas. Chief T is what they call me. And today we're gonna be talking about money and marriage. Today's discussion was brought to you to basically just talk about the things that we normally don't talk about either before you get married, while you're married, or after the breakup. I like to say it like in the military, before, during, and after. But understand this, these are the keys to success when you want to talk about a strong bond, a strong relationship between your significant other, whether you decide to get married or whether you decide just to have a nice, long lasting relationship. Can I get an amen on that one? So tonight we dive into the conversations we should have had about money that we should have known and now must resolve. And I got a panel of personnel here that I've known for quite some time. And I'm gonna bring everybody up on the spotlight so that everybody can see them. Starting off with Brian B. Woods. Come on in the room, let everybody know who you are, sir. Boom, there we go.
Hey everybody, hey everyone. Hey, my name is Brian Woods. Hey, I'm an actual retired serviceman. Of course, just like any other like a lot of people, you find someone that the love of your life. Of course, you don't take no time without marrying them. But I'll tell y'all, just like everybody else that's actually married at this point, hey, it's an experience of the unknown if you didn't have any type of guidance on going into a marriage. But I'm a proud member of uh, same organization that Jason is. Um, and I'll say that I'm just welcome to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, B. Woods. Power Move on 6, y'all. Mr. and Mrs. Hepburn, come off mute. Let everybody know who you are. Who? Let's just say how long have you been married, and just who you are, your background, real quick.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Hello. William and Willa Hepburn. We've been married going on 2 years now, but this is both our second marriage, and we've been with MWR now for about a month and a couple of days. And just within the last month, we've done amazing things with MWR. My wife, she done made it to executive director within the first 30 days. I'm still trying to get there because, I've been boosting her up and everything, boosting her up and letting her, she's one of them retired. So she's at home just chilling. So I'm still working. But everything's been going well for us right now. And then when I saw this actual day coming up so much as dealing with this topic, I was like, look, we got to get here and get into this topic so we can share some of our experience and, with others and move forward.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much. That's the Hepburns, y'all. That's a fast moving couple right there. Next, we have Jeremiah Hardy, my good friend and fellow vet. Sir, please come off mute. My bad. Please come off mute and let everybody know who you are, how long you've been married.
Yeah, so my name is Jeremiah, but I go by JJ, so I'm JJ Hardy. Can you guys hear me? Oh yeah, I am. I'm not on mute. Okay. Yeah, I'm retired from the U.S. Army. I served a career there. Fellow warrant officer, just like old Jason down there. We have a tight clique. We gotta keep a hold of one another. I've been married for 18 years. That has been a blessing. My wife and I have gone through the gamut. Most of that time has been during my service. We met just a couple of years into my service, post deployment. Imagine that. But all of these topics that Jason brought up for tonight are just amazing because they all really revolve around trust and compromise and all of the things that make a good, healthy marriage. So I'm glad he's deciding to do this. This is great.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you for joining us. And last but not least, Dr. Regina and Alvin Turner.
Peace and blessings, family. My name is Dr. Regina A. Turner, and of course, my husband, Alvin Turner. We've been married for, we've been together over 39 years, married 21 years. And so we've been with MWR since 2016, and we're just happy we're at a two-star executive director. And of course, I'm a retired bus operator, and Alvin's a retired as well. It's also a military man.
Awesome, awesome. I appreciate your service and thank y'all for being here. We're not gonna prolong the moment, but I'm gonna make sure I get everybody back in here and in order so that we can see everybody's beautiful face. Hey, one of the first questions that I want to talk about or we want to share is what was one of the biggest topics concerning money that you and your spouse had to overcome? You know, like what did you have to overcome joining as a couple, as a married couple? As partners, even B Woods, you know, even as a recent or a divorce, you know, people need to know what are the topics that we should have talked about that were so big that we just left it where it was. I guess you could say it didn't really dive in. Who wants to go first on that one? Brian, let's go.
Hey, so for me up front after the experience, um a lot of us in the beginning when we get married, we don't look at how much it costs to be able to run a family. We go off of love. I'm gonna just leave it right there. Y'all can go in on that one.
He got me right there for real, for real. Anybody want to elaborate?
Yeah, I'll
I would
elaborate.
say, I see your hand, Willa. I would say you can't. It's nice to think that love's gonna take you through, but love don't pay bills. Love don't rub your feet when your feet hurt and your back when your back hurt, and it takes you doing the extra to really move the marriage forward or move as a whole. Willa, I think I saw your hand up, and y'all can stay off mute. Yeah, y'all good.
Yes, what I want to say, this is as Bill said, this is both of our second marriage. And so having that experience, uh, respect and trust go a long way. And you have to trust the individual and respect that person more than anything. And first of all, when I heard about NWR, I mean, wow, I knew that my husband, I trust him, and I knew that he knew what he was talking about regarding our finances. So I didn't have a problem. I knew to trust what he wanted to do regarding our finances. He's the head of our family, and I was okay with that. And I trust him to take it by the bull by the horn and go with it. And I was on board with it. And that was one thing I love about him. And I was on board. As far as the way or the direction that he wanted our family to go, I was all in for it. I trust him. And again, the biggest thing is trust and respect. And if you don't have that, it's no need to get married. You might as well stay single.
Love it. I love it. Jeremiah, did you have something you wanted to add? I thought I saw your hand.
Yeah, I know Dr. Regina Turner over there. I think her husband had something he wanted to say. He keeps on putting his hand up there, but I do want to say that yeah, trust and respect is good, and you know, planning is really really important, and part of that comes from trust. One thing that my wife and I did a lot of is figure out how, because I was on active duty at the time and I was constantly deploying. I was in that cycle back in 2004 where I would come back and leave and come back for a short time and then leave again. And you know, so we came up with a plan where, you know, I would pay certain things and she would pay certain things, and then we'd hold each other accountable because we'd meet once in a while just to talk about what we're missing and what we still need to do. And so that communication is also extremely important to make sure that you guys are not you guys, but you know, couples are talking about these things, because the foundation of marriage is it's trust and communication and all of the things that go along with it. Communication, though, if that breaks down, I mean, businesses break down because of communication. Guess what? Relationships do too.
Yes.
Awesome, correct. And you brought up a great point. You said, y'all had developed a plan to where, you would pay this and she would pay that because of the geological location. Tell me this, Jeremiah, on the topic of separate accounts or joint accounts, because, that's one of the that's a big question to talk about. And a lot of people don't think it is. But with today's independent women movement and, you got yours, I got mine. Tell us a little bit, did y'all agree? Did y'all compromise? Or did y'all just disagree with how finances was going to work as it relates to accounts?
So we took an interesting approach when it came to that. So again, military spouses run the world, right? So I had a few conversations with people at work, but then she had some conversations with people in the community as well. And we weren't sure how we wanted to do that because, she had her account with a local bank in Pennsylvania. I had USAA already. And, we weren't sure if we wanted to get rid of one or if we wanted to just keep them separate or whatever the case may be. And we actually found talking to people that when you separate accounts, it creates separations in all kinds of places. And people are wondering, well, what's going on over there? Are they using that money for something else? And even though trust is a big part of marriage, when you can't see something, it raises questions and you kind of want to know what's going on with that other thing. And so what we decided to do is just close one of the accounts and go with a joint account just because we're in it together 100%. It doesn't matter whether it's money or what it is. We're in it 100%. We're going to win together and lose together, as they say.
Correct. Awesome. And somebody may have a difference of opinion on that. Some people may say, hey, you had what you had before we got married. Anybody want to talk about it, or we good? And I got mine, or I got my kitty bag. Go ahead, Mr. Turner.
All right. Well, I could piggyback on a couple of things. First of all, the thing about when Wood was saying, love part. Well, when you're young like that, first of all, there is no playbook. There is no script for young people when they get married. There is no script. There's none. There is none. And so when you're looking at your parents, whether they are together for 50 years or 60 years, they're not sitting you down and telling you, well, the script is written this way, you should do that, you should do this, you do that. But then when you look back at it, you should be like, well, that didn't work for you. But at the same time, when you first get together, it's about the affection for each other. Now, as you grow into the relationship, you find that you need to do certain things. Like, for instance, finances. Because now you're going to start thinking about living together before you even have children. You're going to start maybe living together. And you have the rent to pay. You got the gas light, the this, the that, the that, the this. Okay. So now, sometimes you have a problem with the woman making more money than the man making the more money. Or the man is making the money he bringing home and she's not doing anything. Okay. So you have to understand between the two, what is going to come about in your relationship, and communication between the two is so important that it beats having to, because you're going to trust them. If you talk to them, you should trust them. That's the automatic. If you talk to the person, you should trust them after that. And then understanding that, listen, we have a conversation and I suggest, okay, I'm not telling you the way we go, but I'm going to suggest that we should do this or we should do that. What do you think we should do? Okay.
Yes, you can't tell. You got to suggest.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, because you young, you don't know. You're flying off the handle. Okay, so the man he's looking, he's bringing home the money, and a lot of times, as men, we have protection. We provide, and there's three things that we do: we protect, provide, and there's another thing. But when we do that, we leave everything responsibility to to the wife or the woman that we with. And when things don't go right, when you think they're not right, then you have a question to her why she's doing this and doing that, but you're not trusting her. You see, so as a man, we tend to bump our head against the wall, knowing that I should have trusted you in the first place. You know,
You actually brought up a really good point there, sir. So what about forgiveness too? You know, we all make mistakes in marriage, and don't be like the newer generation where it seems like marriage is just another transaction. And no, marriage is you're all in 110%. So what the biggest mistake that people make these days is whether it's a financial mistake or it's you didn't call when it was and to tell your wife that you weren't coming home for dinner or whatever the case may be. You know, maybe there needs to be some forgiveness there, some conversation. And by the way, the guy needs to give a little bit.
oh yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah. There's a compromise. And that's another thing too, to be able to compromise with your wife. Because a lot of times as men, we don't want to compromise. We just want to, but we need to compromise in certain situations. So say like you were saying that there's mistakes in the marriage or in the relationship. And as a man, we don't tend to want to, we carry it too long as far as not being able to say, okay, well, I let it go. Yeah. Let it go. Don't keep boop, 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 boop. Let it go. you know, so you know,
tell me this. Tell me
it's
this, Dr. Regina, based on what Alvin is saying, I want to move this thing forward to the next question.
okay.
As it relates to what he just said, in asset planning, do we plan it together, separate, or do we, do it together, separate, or both, or is it a mixture, a hybrid on certain things,
I think it should be a mixture of things because sometimes we may have more knowledge than the a spouse may have, and if you didn't come and have that conversation together, then you basically have to come down and sit things on paper. I'm a person that I love to see things on paper. I like to have it written out. So I had to bring that to our relationship so that this way we could compromise and we can agree, and then we can agree to disagree, but be amicable about it to have a conversation, whereas we're open and we're understanding each other's feelings. Because at the same time, you don't want to say the wrong thing that may hurt his feelings because of his upbringing, because you got to remember, we were all conditioned with a certain aspect on how we see money from our parents and our, relatives. So with us, thank God that we had parents and our ancestors basically gave us the go ahead in our relationship because they knew the stock where we came from. So like, I don't know if they still do this, but you have to go before the elders and let them get, the okay that y'all can get together. So thank God we had that. And because my great aunts and stuff went to school with his father's brothers, and so I've been knowing his father since I was 4. And so just having that communication and being friends first before we were anything else, that was the first thing in any relationship. You should be friends first, because then the conversation of finances become easier for you now to talk about without anybody having their feet stepped on.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love how you
Let me
shared
hop in.
that. And I think Charles,
Hey,
Yes, let
Charles,
Charles come in.
hey,
hey, so I think I like you, Charles. Did you want to say something?
yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead and spotlight yourself, sir. You should be a co-host.
All right. Well, let me see if I can spotlight.
I
All
got
right,
you.
here we go. Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey.
all is well.
Okay, so for a couple of things, I'm Charles Iver. I've been married about 20 years now with my lovely spouse. Now, when it comes to, and I'm gonna address the one Jeremiah talked about with the 2 bank accounts. Every household works different. When my wife and I got together, we made it clear, we made an agreement that I'm going to be the provider of the house and she's going to take care of certain roles. So when it comes to paying mortgage, making sure the bills get paid, the things that we need to sustain our life, I got it. When it comes to traveling, eating out, entertaining, taking care of the kids, she has it. We have two separate accounts because my wife felt like if she wanted to do something for me, she wanted to make sure that it came out of her pocket and not ours together. Because now I'm participating in whatever she's doing for me. So we got ours as separate. And basically what I told my wife when we first got married, hey, listen, I'm going to take care of everything, but I need you to be my safety net. You're my helpmate. So if something happens to me and I fall, I need you to be in position to take care of the things that we need going on. So she knows that. So when I lost my job and I wasn't able to pay the mortgage, she had enough savings to be able to sustain us. I just thank God that I was a part of MWR. So when I did lose the job, I had this company to pick up the slack because I had already prepared myself and I was earning twice the amount of money anyway. But she was there. You know, that's her role in our marriage. So when we go out, and you probably notice when we go out to Game Changer and we eat out, she normally pays for the meal.
Yes.
You know, because that's her role. I pay for the conference. I'll pay for the hotel. I'll pay for the gas. Her job is entertainment. You know, so we play our role when it comes to finances. Now, when it comes to investing, again, it's my job to make sure that I take care of us for the future. And so I make these investments. I make these high risk investments. You know, I've made $100,000 investment in a opportunity. Made some, won some, lost some. You know, because again, her job is to be the safety net for us. You know, so we don't risk her money. We risk my money, right? But we do talk about, you know, these items that we're going to spend, you know, at least sometimes, because she went out and bought a Lexus and I ain't know nothing about it.
Yeah, right.
Showed up in the driveway, right? But we talked about building a house. You know, that's more of a bigger expense, and she had her input in it. We talked about buying this give buck stocks. You know, it's open, and I'm finna invest in it. Well, she wants to invest in some too on the side for herself. You know, so that's her money. You know, so every marriage works different. And like we started off saying, there's got to be trust.
Right.
You know? So my trust in her is if something happens and I need you to be there. You know, sometimes I wonder because Amazon comes at my door every day.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Hey, Amazon is at my house every day. You know, so she's spending money, but she still, you know, have us in a position. She's about to pay off her commercial building, you know, out of the savings that she made. So, you know, everybody's finances is different, but trust definitely has to be there.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So Charles, you brought up a good point, and Dr. Regina, y'all was going in. We got a couple more questions that we got to get through, but it leads me to the next question. So, and this is open for everybody in the group, and if you're in the chat, you can type it in too. Who is more financially savvy? Don't everybody go at once, but who is more financially savvy? And it's not a knock. It just means that you're good, you're better at certain things. And maybe both of y'all are just on different areas of the spectrum. So
well, in the Ivory household, that would be
okay.
William, in the Hepburn household, that would be me.
Okay. Jeremiah?
In our household, it's not that I'm more savvy with investments, but I'm the one who's responsible because my wife is scared of taking that money away from the security of our household and putting it into an investment. So that would be me.
Awesome. B Woods, when you was rolling in there, hey, did y'all split it? Who had the savviness?
Hey, it was always me because I'm frugal like Scrooge.
Yeah. So your strategy was frugalness. Hey, if we ain't gotta spend it, we don't need to spend it. Okay. Alvin and Dr. Regina, y'all debating over there. We can see y'all.
I'm more savvy than she is when we talk about investments. because I tend to be more outgoing in finding out exactly, those particular questions. So, and then I'm more risk. I take more risk than she would. She don't take as many risks as I do. When
Okay.
it comes down to finances, she don't take the risk. I take the risk.
Okay, I got it. So it seems like majority of the guys, not necessarily a gender role, but I'm gonna say majority of the guys on our panel today are the ones that held it down for the household as far as being more financially savvy. Now I'm sure based on the discussions we just had, you talking it with your spouse before we pull the trigger. But it leads me to another question, Charles, and we get this all the time, Jeremiah. When we're talking about the male being more I guess you get financial savvy with this group. I'm just talking this group. I'm gonna say this is a consensus of a larger sample. It's a consensus of a larger sample of the population. So tell me this: is $150? Is that a question to where we need to talk about? Jeremiah, I want you to answer that question. If your wife needs to spend $150, it's going to be something that's going to help our household. Is that a topic of discussion, or is that something like you got it, babe? You good? Or vice versa, if she needs to spend $150, can we talk about that real quick?
So that's twofold, right? I mean, are we gonna be am I gonna be sleeping in the doghouse tonight if I go and spend $150? Absolutely not. Do we need to have a long drawn out conversation about it? Not really. When it comes to, I would say probably a couple $100 or less, we have the understanding with one another that it needs to be discussed within a reasonable time frame after it happens, because we both look in the account and we kind of try to track our expenses and keep a tight hold on that stuff. But from a trust standpoint, $150 at the end of the day really doesn't mean a whole lot. And I know where you're going with this.
I'm not going anywhere. Can I get one more person to answer the question? Sarah
Jason,
and
you
Murphy.
going somewhere.
I got you, Sarah Murphy coming in from New Jersey. My awesome business partner doing great things. Hey, could you add a little bit on that one, and then we'll move on to the next subject? Man, I'm loving that blue shirt we got on, sir. We're talking about $150.
I just got it. I just got it. And they only had one left. And guess what? It was my size. I thank God for that. I thank God for that. But as far as, when I met Sarah, right? She took the bull by the horn. See, if it was up to me, I don't want to spend a dime on nothing. Okay? I'm gonna be honest. Listen, a cardboard box is all right with me. I don't mind sleeping in a cardboard, but I'm saying we're not living that way. But I'm just saying she is the one that takes all of the advantages, all the risks, all the ideas, and she is able to bundle them up and come up with a great idea. And this has been, MWR has been the best idea because we've been on numerous adventures where it had already taken place. We didn't really have no big discussion about it because she handles all the money. But she makes great investments, but this has been the best investment. So I really don't have a whole lot to say when it comes to her savviness and mine, because savviness, for me, I have none.
His savvy is put it in the bank and let it sit there, collect mothballs and get holes in it.
Until we got to MWR. Now I know we don't do that. Now we know the bank is not our responsibility. We are our responsibility.
Right.
So
he's
Sarah,
more
let me ask.
risk
Oh, sorry.
averse
Go
than
ahead.
I am. It definitely. I'm sorry. What was that?
Oh no, it's okay. I was gonna ask you if you've taken any shovels to the backyard to find those buried canisters that he has money in.
Listen, actually we have. I've been like, listen, let me see all that. Let me see all them papers. Let me see all them receipts. And the scare. I just want to go back to that savvy part. There's a good and a bad when it comes to being financially savvy. A negative and a positive, right? Because in my past, I'm a nationally certified homeownership credit and debt counselor. Like my specialty was helping people get into homes and things of that nature in my past life, right? So because I knew how to maneuver around money, what credit and debt meant, how to use it to your advantage, how to create, I knew loopholes. which can ultimately put you in danger because it opens you up to liability that if you don't keep them plates spinning and do a good job at it, you will find yourself in a detrimental situation. You know what I mean? So that being financially savvy can have its good side and its negative side if you're not careful and vigilant with what you're doing. Definitely.
Great point right there. And so that leads me to the next question. So as a group, whoever wants to answer this one, how much have you both learned about each other because you talk about finances and work through these hard topics?
To me, it's been so much as breath of fresh air because previously with the other person I was married to, we didn't talk about nothing. It was always just me doing what I was doing, and that was it. But me and Willa, we sit down and talk about everything that's going on, all the trips, all the different things that we're trying to invest in, and especially with MWR, is open our eyes up to seeing more things that we should be doing. We can do with our money than just having it sit in the bank somewhere. So that's one of the biggest things that's came out of opening our eyes with MWR.
Awesome. Anybody else want to hit that real quick?
Yes. Since being an NWR, we have learned that we're able to invest in our gold and silver because we love investing in, precious metals. So when we saw that with MWR, it was just another rank on our belt of investments that we were able to do together that we love together. So that was another thing. And then we were able to basically now set up our children's future. So the MWR has opened our eyes so that we could do that at a higher scale. And now we don't have to worry about having to put that aside. Now we can do it in a much larger scale, and being that we know the different strategies that we can implement. So the strategies and the framework has been beneficial for our relationship and our marriage.
Great points. And we're gonna talk about this MWR that everybody's name dropping in a minute. But here's a question I want to get to this real important question. All of them been great, but I think this is one question that is really very pertinent in the American household, and that is, and anybody can chime in on it. If anybody has more personal experience, I would definitely love for the panel to share. But did anyone have to deal with child support as a conversation, or is dealing with child support as it relates to this marriage or this union? And if so, what did that do to the relationship? Did it strengthen it? Did it cause a rift that you had to mend? Overall, how are you working through it? Or what advice would you give to somebody now that you've gone through it?
Well, I can tell you, I was paying child support when I met my wife, but because of the way we set up our finances, it wasn't a problem because it didn't interfere with anything that she was going on, and the child support didn't interfere with the household which I was responsible for. So it wasn't a problem, you know. I think when you get marriages that I don't know how you say it, have issues with child support, it's because it's a lack of money, and it affects the cash flow that needs to be used in the house. But when you set up everything the correct way, child support shouldn't be a problem.
That's a
Yeah.
good point. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing that.
On that,
And I
go ahead,
think
sir.
thank you for sharing that. I think Dr. Regina had her hand up,
Go
but
ahead, sir.
Did you
yeah,
want to?
yeah, child support. Well, I pay child support, so it can be a problem. But what I suggest you do is when you go through the system to pay the child support, you make sure that it's taken out of your account so that you don't have to go back and forth and realizing that it's not paid, or you have to visit the parent or the child's parent and have a discussion with them every time the the child support is due. So that creates a rift between the relationship that you in and the relationship that you had, because now the child is in between, and that's taking, like Ivory said, is taking money from the household. but I just suggest that you already have the courts take the money from your account. So this way, if anything happens, there's you can show. First of all, you're going to show the money that's coming out of the account because it's going to show. So nobody can say that you're not being responsible for your responsibility, and it alleviates a whole lot of aggravation. It relieves a whole lot of aggravation between the relationship and the kids and the mother.
Well, in our relationship, being that he was married before and he came in paying child support, it wasn't a rift in our relationship because we had that understanding. We had the conversation prior to. So we already knew that it was on the table. So it never did have a negative connotation in our relationship. And that was the great thing. And not only that, we put God first in everything that we do. We let him be the leader of everything. We go to prayer, we pray with each other so that this way we know we're doing what God has us to do. And child support, we know he had to take care of those kids regardless. So therefore, it never became a problem in the relationship.
Awesome. Dr. G said, I'm gonna let this be known. Okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Dr. Regina, tell me this. I wanna before we go to the last two questions, tell me this. When y'all got married, did you trust him with the finances or not?
I did trust him because, he had been taking care of me before. And like I said, I came in with the baby as well. So he took care of that baby before I even had him. So it was like, it was a no-brainer for me. And not only that, we had the blessings of our family. So it was nothing that was wrong that I saw him doing because I saw him taking care of his kids. I saw him going to every teacher's conference. I saw him every game that they needed to have. He was very instrumental in their lives. So that made me feel good because I knew that our son was going to be taken care of as well. And I didn't have to worry about any separation. And that's the thing that comes with child support. You cannot separate because we have additional children. We don't have stepchildren. We have additional children, which is a plus for me. And I love them just the same as if they came from me or not.
Go on, Alvin.
I know, right? Look at him. Look, he's just leaning
yes.
back in
You're a
his
good
chair.
man there,
Yes.
Mr. Turner. Good man there, Mr. Turner.
Give
Yes.
Alvin a hand clap.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Sarah Murphy, tell me this. What would be a reason why someone wouldn't trust their spouse with the finances early in the relationship, during the relationship, or leading them away from the relationship?
Well, that's easy.
Uh-oh.
That's easy. We when we first got together, my thing is that I wasn't sure about giving her access to my bank account.
Mm.
Wasn't sure because I had to feel out the relationship. I saw how she was, but the trust in a relationship is something that you water and it grows. And once it's full bloomed, then you pretty much could just go ahead and just let it blossom. So what we did was, as far as trust is concerned, I saw that she was trustworthy because of the lifestyle that she had. She wanted things. I was one that was never adventurous as her. She's very adventurous, outgoing. She was in the real estate. She had big dreams. I was still sleeping on top of my mattress with the money up under it. You hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw what she was doing, she gave me an opportunity. We have a pretty good age difference. So our thinking is a little bit different. What is it, like maybe 20-year difference?
Yeah,
So my thinking was, hey, like my father, you don't spend no money, you put it in the bank, you do blah, 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 blah. She wanted to go places. She wanted to do things. She wanted to invest in businesses. She wanted her dreams were a lot bigger. So she wanted to be able to have the money to match the dream. I learned that from Brian Bean. I don't know if y'all heard that this weekend, but
we heard that, sir.
Yes.
The money needs to match the dream.
Mm-hmm.
I was still sleeping, but I wasn't dreaming. When I met her, I said, you know what? I'm going to trust her. We had a joint account. Money was going direct deposit. I said, baby, do what you need to do. I'm along for the ride. And I've been riding ever since. I don't have to think about anything. To tell you the truth, all she do is just put some money into my bank account so that I can be able to get a haircut, if I need a suit, if I need to go for car repair. I don't have to worry about anything. She takes care of everything, you know. So and I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I'll tell you one thing, I can trust her with my bank account. I can trust her with my check. So and you know what, to be honest with you, I trust her with my life. So
okay.
oh, now that was kind of deep. You gotta give me a clap.
Gotta get a clap on that.
Sarah. Hey, it's a good thing. It's a Murphy and Sarah thing, and that's what's most important. And so, as we continue on and wrap it up at the same time, how has the MWR services helped you in your finances as it relates to your marriage? For ladies and gentlemen, for those that don't know, we are all business partners with a company called Make Wealth Real, who seriously is making wealth real for each and every one of our households. And you've heard a brief testimonies and conversations about finances as it relates to decisions that each one of these couples and prior couples have made, but also they're using experts now to build wealth, starting off with our 72-hour money challenge, which actually shows you how to get money back by using a free app, which we'll talk about later. So, ladies and gentlemen, tell me this. And if y'all want more information about that, y'all gotta stay y'all gotta join us for the next Zoom that we have going on at 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. Same channel, same place. And if you're on Facebook viewing, you're gonna have to get the link from us. Thank you, because we won't be on Facebook Live. So hey, tell me this, wrapping this up, ladies and gentlemen, how has the services of MWR Financial basically been able to bring you guys together or just improve your finances as a couple, as a husband, as a wife? Real quick, rapid fire, and I got one more question for those that are tracking.
I gotta just say the awareness that this organization has brought to my life and the ability to take a step back and have more respect for money and more respect for it as a tool, because we work hard to get what we have. And my husband already told you there's a 20-year age difference between us. And my goal is to retire my husband. But if he's pouring water into a bucket that has a bunch of holes in it, that's not helpful in that process. But this organization has definitely helped with making us aware of where our funds are going and showing us a blueprint in these individuals who have blazed the trail before us and made some huge things happen, and they just getting started, right? That is possible for us. So that awareness needs to be turned into an action, and we have to take consistent action to start turning the tide and move forward in a different direction so that the outlook will be better.
And I concur with Sarah. What she said is the framework and the blueprint that we have here at NWR is a bar none. No other company can outdo us. No other company can match us. No other company can basically put us on the path that we need to go in. And NWR has put us on a path that we know exactly where we're going. We don't have to second guess it. And the experts do all the work. That's the caveat to the whole thing. The experts that we have at our disposal is what's making us grow as individuals, more knowledgeable with the information so that we can implement it right away. And that's the key to having this program and having the strategies and the blueprint together.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just going to say that I'm brand new to this organization within the last couple of weeks, actually. And I've already started to see benefits with the negotiation and all that other stuff that those experts do on my behalf. Now, I'm a retired military veteran. I'm financially pretty secure. However, I have seen so many people that have struggled with money, especially younger people. And to have all of these tools available to be able to square somebody who may not know how to dig themselves out of a hole, it's priceless, to be quite honest with you. And the low buy-in that this company has for you to be a part of it, and then to be able to take advantage of all the tax breaks that come along with having a business as a result of being part of this company, there's really no reason why anyone wouldn't be a part of something like this, to be quite honest with you.
What MWR has saved us thus far, it's just crazy. Today, and this may sound ridiculous, but today I really wanted to cry when I sat down and talked to the financial expert that explained how I could, the DCA, how I could save, and that I, in a year and 10 months, how I could be debt free. I kid you not. And I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. It was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And in years, I could have my mortgage paid for. I couldn't believe it. Amazing. Would have never known that if I had not been aware, if my brother-in-law had not asked my husband, what do you want to be? A number one or a number two? And again, I trust my husband when he said, I want to be a number one. And I trust him to come along with this beautiful program. And here we are. It is just amazing. And for anybody not to understand this, it is just, I don't understand how people, it's so much with this. We have saved so much money. I mean, I did this. What is it? Executive director? I did this with the help of my husband in less than 30 days, with the help of this dude right here that I love so much. I am making the $5 a day. What is it? $150 a month. He said, I had no clue. 30 days ago, who would have known? I don't even know. This is amazing. So I am truly honored. This is a godsend. It's a blessing.
Amen.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Look at her beaming, y'all.
Yes.
Hey, give her a hand clap, everybody.
That.
I give you all a
Yeah,
hand.
Cassandra
What-
Wooden put her hand up.
Yes, just real quick, family, because the time is coming winding down. Mrs. Wooten, Slim, how y'all doing? Out in
All right.
We're awesome.
Yeah.
We're doing great. And I just wanted to add to that, this company has changed our lives and is bringing us even more together where we're able to pay our house off 5 years early.
Yeah.
So that
We
was a
already paid it.
blessing by itself. And then with having two DCAs where we're seeing, a difference in our finances. So working together and with the experts, and they're guiding us what we need to do when we do get ready to retire. So I am just so thankful.
Which, I already retired once, so I'm always working for her.
awesome testimony. I appreciate y'all so very much. Thank you so much.
And Jason, we can't let you off the hook now because
Hold on, man. Hold on. We try to keep this thing
Yeah,
rolling.
you ain't getting off the hook now. No.
Jason, let me share something with everybody when it's talking about finance. We've been talking about finances, and now we're starting to talk about how this amazing company is. And I just want to say a little bit about this new product that came out, which I've been using, by the way.
Amen.
So it does work.
Amen.
I want you to understand, there's 15 of us on this Zoom right now. And if 15 of us went out and got 100 people, that's 1,500 people. Do you know that if you earn just 10 cents per day off of those 1,500 people, I want you to think about this. We always say we don't do math in public. That's $150 a day times 365 days in a year. That's $54,000. And so when you start talking about finances and stuff like that, now that's just off of 10 cents off of 1,500 people on a free app that should go global. Just think about you sharing this for 6 months to friends who share it to friends who share it to friends. So I use 1,500 just because it's 15 of us here, and 100 people on a free app is nothing. Just think about it. This company done provided you another income of $54,000 a year that you can put towards investing off a free app.
Yep.
All right, so Charles done jumped ahead and answered the question that we had left. He didn't know we had the question, but, but hey, like you said, you're talking about a free app that's given to you in our 72-hour money challenge that allows you to access two streams of income simultaneously by doing things that you do every single day. And not only you, but everyone that you know. So hey, we're gonna wrap it up because we got a presentation. If you love the information, like the conversation that we had, now we're going to dive into what Make Wealth Real and what the 72-hour challenge is all about and what this free app that Mr. Ivory just laid out, talking about $150 a day for little work, little effort with just 100 with just 100 people with 15. I can't even explain. It's so much that he
1,500 people
bottom
at
line
10
is
cents a day.
1,500 people because we have
10 cents a
15
day.
people on the line making 10 cents per transaction. That's crazy. And we're gonna dive into that a little bit further in the next 10 minutes. So hey, definitely want y'all to be online. For everybody that's on Facebook, if you want this conversation, definitely need to chime in with anybody. And who's ever sharing this page with you right now, you need to ask them for the link. But more importantly, you're gonna want to know what their personal invitation code is. And if you don't know what that is, hey, if you want that $150 a day minimum, that's the way he's talking about. We're not even, if you've never heard of micro transactions, macro transactions, look, let me go ahead and dive in with this real quick. You know how the banks make a lot of money by us swiping cards versus paying cash every day? Because every transaction that you make gets a 3% charge off of that card paid to the bank. What if you could do the same? Hey, our company puts you in position to do that. And we're going to talk about that in 10 minutes. So get with the person who's sharing this video with you. Thank all of my panelists for coming on for Monday Marriage and Money. It was a great discussion. We definitely shared a lot on what people should be talking about, should have known about their money and how much they should have been talking about is very important because if you don't know, and you don't have these conversations early, you really can mess up finances. And so do a full recap. And I'm gonna go get a glass of water for a full recap of what we just shared. You know, when you're talking about the big topics concerning your relationships and finances and money and coming together, hey, you got to have respect and trust as the foundation of your household. You know, love ain't enough to keep the lights on, but I guarantee love will keep y'all together, but that respect and trust will build y'all up. When you're talking about separate or joint accounts, Jeremiah hit it on the head. Hey, do everything together, but discuss it. You know, we had other members on the panel say, hey, every household is different. Maybe maybe having a joint account and just working out of that one account is not for you. But y'all discussed it because y'all have what? Respect and trust, and y'all create the accounts that you see fit that be most beneficial for your household. When it comes to asset planning, Dr. Regina broke it down very good. You know, asset planning is a mixture. It's not how I wanted things to go or how he wants things to go. It's how we want things to go. And so there may be some things where I got my kitty bag that's accumulating wealth. He may have his wallet that's accumulating wealth digitally, and together we have an asset fund that's growing wealth at the same time, and that's okay. That's outside of the standard checking, mutual funds, and all of that. That's investment, y'all. And if all you have is a checking and savings, we gonna show y'all what y'all need to get into. And then who's more financially savvy? Men say I, women say they. But in this particular scenario, with our panel, majority of the husbands were the financially savvy person in the household. And what that means is, like Sarah and Murphy have stated, that can also be a bad thing or a good thing when you don't put it in the right perspective. So make sure you pay attention to what areas each is savvy on. Maybe you're savvy with investing, like Alvin talked about, and maybe you're savvy with spending. You know, work that out how the household seems fit, and let's grow together. The other thing was, you know, what did you learn most about each other just talking this stuff out? You know, well, talking about it. You know, communication is a key, and we say it all the time. But when you actually communicate about finances and not just think about how you grew up, maybe your mom and dad didn't talk finances. Maybe grandma and grandpa, you never heard them talk finances. That doesn't mean that we don't have to talk about finances. And as we've learned from William and Willa, talking about it more increases the glow. Did y'all see Willa glow?
Yes.
Ever since they've been talking about finances, she been glowing because they talking about something that most of us, not all, have a lack of. And that's the reason why Mr. Ivory brought up some people have a problem with the 150. Some people have a problem with the child support topic because a lack of will cause you to be ashamed and not confront the problem and resolve to the issues. And then when you're talking about the trust of a loved one in finances, most of the panel on here, we're not even related, but we talk finances more than we do our loved ones, not necessarily our husband or our wife, but our loved ones as in relatives that we know. You know why? Because some people are still sleeping and they're not dreaming. And that's what William talked about. If you can't dream with me, how can you grow with me? If you're still sleeping on things that I've shared with you, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, then how can I take you to where I want to go? And it's impossible with a couple to do that with one person still sleeping. But what does it take? Like Murphy said, it takes you watering the trust and being vulnerable enough to want to consummate a marriage as it relates to finances. The more respect you have for finances, the more knowledge you gain, and you see that it's a tool to be used, not a tool to be mistreated. And so that's what we talked about. And we talked about one company that does all of that for you and improves your whole household just by getting money out of the way. And that's called Make Wealth Real. So real quick, hey, if you love the information, get back with the person who shared this with you and let them know that you want the link, because in the next 3 to 4 minutes, we're going to come right back here to this channel on Zoom, not Facebook, and we're going to discuss the MWR 72-hour money challenge and how everyone on this panel has been able to benefit from it. And y'all be blessed. Thank you, amazing panel, for sharing this with me. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next Zoom. Peace.
Such a beautiful smile.
Go ahead and retire your husband, Sarah.
Hey, Slim.
Hey, Jason, I'm going to get you next time, Jason.